When the Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Thessalonica, he told them, "We remember before our God and Father your work produced by faith, your labor prompted by love, and your endurance inspired by hope in the Lord Jesus Christ." Paul's words remind me of you and of your faithfulness in continuing to do the work of the church through difficult times. Today we despair over what we see in our nation and our city, the excruciating loss of loved ones to COVID-19, the loss of jobs, financial struggles, increasing levels of domestic abuse, hunger, poverty, substance abuse. We see racial unrest and tragedies tearing through our nation, increased violence, and the loss of life. And even amidst these things, and sometimes precisely because of these things, as a church, we are called to be people of hope, not a false or shallow hope, but a deep-rootedness in the love of Christ which produces everlasting hope. So today I'd like to take a moment and say thank you for your response during these difficult times. None of us have ever gone through anything like this COVID season. And as a staff, we didn't know what to expect. Would online worship ministries keep you connected? Would you quit giving? Would we have to shut down ministries during a time when the most vulnerable need the church more than ever? Today I want to say loud and clear, thank you for your generosity. Because you have continued to give, the food bank has remained open to serve our neighbors who need a helping hand. Our partnership with Aurora Commons remains strong, providing a welcoming space for people experiencing homelessness. And we've continued to serve breakfast weekly to those living on the streets of North Aurora. At our community's greatest time of need, you came through. In fact, our April and May giving has exceeded our budget. So thank you for your generosity. I'd also like to thank you for your faithfulness. Along with financial struggles, this pandemic has brought a great deal of unknown and fear, and yet you have continued to function as people of hope and love in our city. You've cared for your children and families, housemates, neighbors, parents, grandparents, even in the midst of physical distancing. You've helped to keep the church woven together through your prayers and presence. And even though we haven't been able to gather together in person, your online engagement has been unbelievable. On Easter Sunday, we had over 10,000 people worshiping together all across the globe. To go through these times of fear and unknown together is no small thing. And I'd like to thank you for your faithfulness to serving God and His church. Very soon, we'll be sharing next steps on reopening our physical locations, and we will continue to trust in your faithfulness as we walk through this together. I'd also like to thank you for your heart for justice. Many of you have been a part of the continuing conversation on racial reconciliation through our ministry of racial justice and reconciliation. Sadly, we have just recently been reminded how far we have to go. I'm grateful for our ongoing local and global partnerships like World Relief and Urban Impact, who've been doing the difficult work of reconciliation for decades, but there's still much work that needs to be done. We need to make bigger changes, and we will figure out how to do that together. Your heart for justice has been an encouragement in dark times like these, so thank you. Finally, I'd like to encourage all of us to remember the true source of our hope. Together, we look forward because of the promise of what is to come, when we'll hunger no more, thirst no more. There'll be no more death or mourning or crying or pain or war or racism. When the church will gather together as one great multitude with people from every nation and tribe and language and race. This is the hope that communities so desperately need, the message that Christ is writing a better story in the world. So thank you for your generosity, faithfulness, and your heart for justice. Thank you, most of all, for being the church to a hurting world. May you be encouraged through your faith, even in this moment, as we continue to journey together.